Hi, everybody. Hi. Hope everybody is doing well today. Welcome to my Friday the 13th live stream. So what we're going to do here today is just do a couple of readings if anybody pops on. And if not, then we won't do them. Simple as that. But today let's see, what did I just do today? Today's Friday the 13th. So I slept very late and took a nap because Friday the 13th and I didn't want anything to happen to me. I watched Loki. I just watched Loki and really am enjoying the series. I think that Tom Hiddleston is amazing and he's hot, and we really enjoy him in this household. So yeah, I hope everything is going well today. I know that Friday the 13th is traditionally a bad day. I'm sorry, the camera is shaking because Sunny is trying to make a nest. Yeah. Friday the 13th traditional is a bad day, but it isn't. It's something that you should celebrate. It's 13 moons, 13 cycles. This is something that is very sacred feminine. So since it's associated with the sacred feminine, then that means that it's bad because women bad, according to certain textbooks and belief systems. So, so we are just chilling here. I'm actually going to see myself on YouTube. We're going to go see what I'm doing. Well, look at that. I'm not live. I'm not in my subscriptions. How does that work? I should be okay. Yeah, this is weird. Okay. So I am seeing myself on TV and we're a couple minutes behind or a couple seconds behind, but that's okay. That's enough for me. So how are you guys doing? Is anybody going to show up? I don't know. Let's talk about Friday the 13th then. What is today? Friday the 13th. And what's a general read for you guys to kind of see how things are going and all that good stuff. So first, get the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords is definitely a feeling of entrapment or feeling trapped by something. But if you notice the card, the person is not really trapped is what they think they are. So see that they are in surrounded by swords, but the swords are placed in the ground, and the place in the ground, they can't really hurt themselves. They're in water, but they're in such, little bits of water that you can't hurt yourself. And if you see, they're not really tightly wound. They can get out of this situation. So it goes to wonder if this person has put themselves in this situation. And if they are too afraid to look around and see that while there's some stuff here that's bad, it's not as bad as what you think it is. So just keep that in mind of this Friday the 13th. It follows up by the Four of Wands, which is actually one of my favorite cards in the deck. Well, thank you for the heart. That's awesome. I didn't know you could do that. Hello. This is one of the luckiest cards in the deck. This is focused on family, happiness, love, future. So the future is bright. Don't worry about the things that you can't do anything about. You can't see you can't touch the future. We're living right now. And right now is an amazing time to be living. So it's a crazy time to be living, just depending on your view of things. But it's right here, right now is what the most important thing is. And the future does look bright. Don't be too focused on little things like money. Now, obviously, I got 99 problems and money would solve all of them. Every single one of them. Money would solve them. And a lot of us feel that way. A lot of us feel this way. So look at the Four of Pentacles and realize that while there is good fortune to be had, it's not all monetary. It doesn't have to do with money. And while money is represented because it's pentacles, and pentacles means coins, it doesn't mean that you are it doesn't mean that you are only stuck to monetary wealth. There's different types of wealth in this world. So happiness, family, friends, books, jungle gems, whatever makes you happy. Whatever makes you happy. Wow. This is 10 of Cups. This is really a happy reading. They really, really want to point out that while there's bad going on in the world, there's still goodness there. There's still happiness there. I don't know if you can see this with the glare. These are actually foiled. So they kind of reflect light and stuff. So I really, really like this particular deck. As you can tell, I've used it quite a bit. And there's a lot of love in this deck, but there's also a lot of points that have been bent, and some of my cards are falling apart now, and I have other decks. This is just my favorite. But know that good things are coming. And I keep hearing people, the collective thought about the Antichrist. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But good is coming. The Hanged Man is a warning to yourself to not, again, don't take advantage of the good gifts around you and the gifts that you already have, and be happy and gracious for what you have. Don't take it for granted. Don't take the little things for granted, because at the end of the day is made up of little moments. We're not remembering hours at a time. At the end of the day, we're remembering moments in the day. So you get to choose what moments in the day that you remember. So if you remember the bad parts, then that's going to define your day. If you're remembering the good parts, that's going to define your day. So just remember that there are good things out there, but don't take the little things for granted. Okay. So that's my quick read on Friday the 13th. And if anybody pops on here and wants a reading, let me know. But I keep hearing things about the Antichrist lately, especially since the whole thing going on in Israel. And I'm not trying to be dismissive by calling it the whole thing in Israel. It's a huge deal. And, we have a couple of ginormous wars going on right now, and it's scary. It's scary times. And I did talk about this a little bit yesterday, and I feel kind of bad of how I explained it, but I don't believe in the Bible. I believe in it as a tool. Because man wrote it, it's fallible, because it's been translated into different languages over and over and over again. We've lost meaning. I hate saying it's a mythology book, but it kind of is. It's like any other mythology book with a great origin story and the end of the world. And I know people believe in this book so much that they're willing to kill for it and willing to die for it. And I am not that person. I am not ready to kill or die for anything to do with a book. And I'm not trying to downplay anybody's belief systems at all. Everybody has their own belief systems. I just personally don't believe in the Bible, but I don't want you guys to feel like I'm downgrading your religion or anything like that. Everybody is open to believe whatever they want to believe, and that is fine. That's why we have a free country, and that's why we're able to have discussions. And religion's an incredibly personal thing, and I practice paganism, so that's my incredibly personal thing that I choose to share that. Other people may not choose to share that, but I choose to share that with people and have a discussion about it. And I'm open to hearing people's thoughts and opinions about the end of the world. And I grew up in a very fear-mongering church. I was raised religious. I was very religiously raised, and to the point where it was somewhere between hysterical punishment and I odd church that I grew up in. So a lot of the stuff that we talked about in Sunday school and things like that had nothing to do with the Bible. It really wasn't in the Bible. So like the whole Antichrist thing, the whole thing is like that. Like the 666 mark and the mark of the beast that everybody will have and the universal money and things like that. That was taught to me personally and people who were also in my Sunday school classes outside of the Bible. They were taught in different books. So while I've read the Bible, I don't remember everything from it, but I remember reading Revelations when I was young and just thinking, what a waste. What a waste to have a world like this that you created with all these people and this civilization, and you're going to destroy it all in a bad way, in a very dark, very bad way, and only certain people are going to be saved and yada, yada, yada. Again, I learned this outside of the Bible. I just lost 2 people. Oh, nobody likes talking about that. So, we're going to talk about then, thanks to the 3 people that were there, and thanks to the 1 person who's still here, we're going to talk about the Antichrist. So, do I believe that there is an Antichrist? 1, no. I think there's several. And I kind of want to talk about that. So, we'll just go and look here. So is there more than one Antichrist? Okay, so the first card I get is the 5 of Cups. The 5 of Cups is a solitary figure, but I feel like because there's other cups on the ground, I feel like they have failed in the past. Other Antichrists have been here and failed in the past. Now, when I mean failed, it doesn't mean they didn't take a lot of life with them. So I think there was a failure in the past. I think the Antichrist has been both male and female in the past. This next one is going to be male. And somebody who I believe is related to war. Someone who is going to be a leader in war. Not an American. This is not going to be an American person. And this is, well, it could be. Because supposedly the Antichrist is supposed to come out of Rome. Rome is no longer the way that it used to be. So it could technically be America, but it's not going to be a white person. So just keep that in mind. But it's somebody who is a warrior. Somebody who is going to seemingly rescue a lot of people. Somebody who seemingly is going to be very brave and very sought after, very charismatic. Somebody who has a mind for war, like somebody who really can look at a battlefield and see like 3D how to do certain maneuvers and what you have to do in order to get from one side to the other, or whatever the goal of the particular war section is happening that moment. This person is going to have a mind for it, and very, very specifically war. Definitely war. This is going to change everything. Every Antichrist has. This is going to change everything, and it's going to be something. This is the Wheel of Fortune. I don't know if you can see it very well, but this is going to change everything. And then we're going to have to come in with the time and strength. So I feel like this particular Antichrist is going to be one that ruins a good chunk of life. And it doesn't mean that it's the end of the world, but I do think it's somebody that is coming up and somebody who's going to be very powerful and somebody who's going to be an Antichrist. So, yeah, we're going to be juggling a lot in these next few days. And when I mean the next few days, I mean like the next 3 years or so. We're going to see a lot of juggling, a lot of back and forth, a lot of fear, a lot of war, a lot of stuff on happening here in the United States. I'm in the United States. Places that haven't seen the face of wars, it's going to happen. And do I think it's end times? No. Do I think that there's an Antichrist involved? Yes. One of many. So there's 3 of you on here now. Yay! Hi, 3 of you. Did any of you have any questions or want to do a quick reading? I've been talking about Friday the 13th. I've been talking about the Antichrist. Hey, Veronica. When we leave California, which state would be best to move? Inland, somewhere in the Midwest. Pick a spot in the Midwest. You definitely don't want to stay in California. California is, it's in danger. California is, let's do a quick reading on California, but I would definitely go Midwest. And I would stay away from Florida, California, anything on a coast. Stay away from the coast. Go inland. Come to Indiana. That's where I'm at. Excuse me, my leg's falling asleep. Let's see. I just pulled the same card, so I'm seeing if it's going to do it again. Let's see about California. California is already at odds with itself. It already is having some sort of inland war with each other. How odd. How odd. It's so weird there because there's a lot of happiness, but there's a lot of fake. And I'm not talking about Hollywood. I'm talking about the state as a whole. It's very much like if we lived in a simulation that California would be the simulation. I'm sorry for people who live in California and love it. And I'm not saying anything bad about it. I've been there. I love Disneyland. I haven't been to much of California, but I've always wanted to go to San Francisco. I want to see it. And I want to go in the next 3 years before things get too bad, because I just have that 3 years in my head that it's going to get bad. That's what it's like. It's an illusion. It's so weird. Do you know what I'm talking about, Veronica? Do you know what I mean by it being an illusion? Like, I feel like there's a lot of show and tell. There's a lot of puppetry happening. A lot of do. But what's going to happen there? The High Priestess. Interesting. So there's going to be a female in power soon, or female energy. And it's going to, I see drought. I see drought happening. So I don't necessarily think the female has anything to do with what's happening next. I just feel like it's going to have a female leader in the next 3 years who's going to be reelected multiple times, maybe as governor, but going to be somebody in a high position in California. But I feel like there's going to be a drought in California. I really feel like there's going to be something like that that's going to happen. There's going to be a lot of infighting between people in power. And I feel that's the same card. Interesting. I feel a lot of people are going to be abandoning California. So just to let you know, I feel like California is a big illusion right now as a whole. I feel like that's the first place that the simulation started. If people believe that we live in a simulation, I don't know if I do or not. But if there is something, I feel like California was the first place to do it. I feel like there's going to be a female leader for several years, and I feel like there's going to be a drought. And I feel like there's going to be a lot of infighting. And infighting is very political. So you're going to see things that you've never seen before, where these politicians are out and out for blood for one another. And it's not like political campaigns or commercials. It's going to be something that you're seeing real time on television, like threatening each other. So it's going to be a very odd time in the next 3 years. Ugh, my hair looks gross. It's clean. It just looks gross. Any other questions? That's a good question. I would definitely come to the Midwest and enjoy 4 seasons. But yeah, I'm open if anybody has any questions. Friday the 13th is upon us. Well, it's 9:15 here, so it's going on. Let's see, what else should we talk about? I'm really worried about the situation in Israel. I really am. I have a feeling that it's going to get really bad and spill over to other places that haven't had war there for a very long time, if not ever. And I feel like little places are going to be targeted, like little towns, things like that. Like, really scares me, because you can do a lot of damage in a small town. You know, you can do a lot of damage in big cities too, but if you imagine several small towns being attacked at once, that's what I feel like is going to happen. And that is scary as hell. And I think that's going to happen in the next 3 years. 3 years is poking out in my head. I don't like it. 3 years isn't very long. I never thought I would be alive for, revelations to actually happen. And I was always afraid I would be, but now I'm kind of afraid I'm gonna be. And I'm not looking forward to it. I mean, who does? Sunny says hi. Rose says hi. There's just some noise outside. And hold on. Can you tell us the scary reading you may have had? Good question. I will wait a second for the dogs to stop barking, because somebody dared to make a noise outside. Holy cow. It's raining here. It's raining and it's thundering, and I don't think they understand that it's rain. Cover your ears. Acting like somebody's here. There's not supposed to be anybody here. All right, so cover your ears. Sun. They're sure acting like somebody's here. I don't see anybody. That would be creepy. The government is coming to get me. Great. Again. Scary reading I may have had. Cover your ears again. Sunny's usually the nice dog. She's usually the one that's calm and quiet. And now she's all alert. I think we're good. Maybe. Baby, she's still barking. She's still mad. There's nothing to be mad at. Nothing to be mad at. Go get your toy. Go get your toy. Go get your toy. Sorry, people. Cover your ears for a second. So I'm still trying to come up with something that, I'm sorry, I keep moving around, that a scary reading I've had. I've never had, okay, I will tell you a scary reading I had that I thought of. So I did a Sharon Tate reading, and some of you have been lucky enough to see it. The reason I love my dog. I love my dog. Sunny, go get a toy. Go get a toy. Go get your toy. Go get your toy. I love my dog, I swear. Okay, so I did a reading on Sharon Tate, and I did it as a YouTube video here, and I had it up for, oh God, at least a year, I think. Some, like I said, some of you have been lucky enough to see it, but I have taken it down since because of danger. I'm so sorry. Cover yours. No. She's never like this, guys. She's never like this. So some of you saw it, some of you haven't. It was about Sharon Tate in my view of what happened to her. And I used the term that I believed that Sharon Tate was sacrificed. And I got so much attention from that reading. I actually got DMs and calls from people telling me to take it down because I was a little too close to the truth. So that terrified me. And I still want to put it back up. Like, I want to put it back up and, see what happens, because, how dare somebody bully me and try to scare me? But it wasn't just one person. It was several people. And they all reminded me that I have an itty bitty little channel. And my itty bitty little channel is, maybe reaching 500 people, which is amazing to me because I don't know 500 people. That's amazing. But they reminded me that this itty bitty little channel of mine is getting a lot of attention because of this Sharon Tate video, and not in the right way. Not in the right way. So the scariest thing that happened to me was getting calls on that video and basically being told that, hold on, gotta plug me in. Basically being told to take it down. So I'm sorry if my video ends. I'm charging it. I'm trying very hard not to, but it was terrifying to me. Terrifying that people were paying attention to my channel for that reason, and specifically because I said that Sharon Tate was a sacrifice. So that was probably the scariest reading I ever had. One that I stopped doing was about Charles Manson. I was starting to do his reading, like sometimes when I do readings, I do a quick read right before, just to get myself warmed up. I'm so sorry about my dog. So get myself warmed up. And it doesn't even necessarily have to do with the subject at the time. So I was doing a completely other video, but I decided to try Charles Manson. And I got freaked out. I got freaked out about how dark it was and the images I was seeing in my head. So that was pretty scary. So sorry that took so long to explain two little things here. I feel really bad about that because my dog has lost her ever puppy mind. I don't know what her deal is, peeps. She's usually the best dog in the world. She usually just kind of chills and sleeps and brings me her toy and we play. But today she's in her own little world, and I don't know. It kind of freaks me out a little bit. So thank you for the questions. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the other people who have been here. I had 4 people here at one point when I was telling my geez, maybe somebody was looking into me. I don't know. Sharon Tate. You say her name and you get attention. And not necessarily the most positive attention that you don't want that type of attention. So any other questions? I have it on a slow, so if anybody wants to write me a question, please go for it. I'll do my best in reading for you. Because it's a cold read. I haven't, I've warmed up a little bit by doing a couple of readings here. I can explain somehow how I do this. I don't necessarily need the tarot cards. They are my can of putty. I don't know if you know what that means, but I have silly putty that I play with, like fidgeting. That's kind of what I use to hone in on things, is use my tarot cards. I don't have to use them, but sometimes I go way out, way out, and somebody wants me to answer a question here, and I'm telling them about something over here, which is loosely related to what they really wanted to talk about. So that's why I use the tarot cards, is to hone myself back in, so I'm not going off about your grandma who passed away, who wants to give you a message, but you really want to know about your love life. So, let's see. I've been talking straight for a half hour. Oh, that's okay. Let's see what else is going on. Or any other questions? I love questions. I'm watching. Let's see. Looking. When something scares you, how do you manage? It takes a lot for something to scare me. I've only been truly scared those 2 times, really, when it comes to readings. Now, when it comes to seeing things, this is something that I had to get help with. So I see dead people. Okay. So I don't always see them like a human being in the room. I see them in my mind's eye, and I see them like almost in a movie. That's kind of what it's like for me. When I was a child, it was much different. It was seeing somebody right in front of me, and seeing somebody who was like 3D right in front of me, and they appeared to me as they would in a state that was most unbearable to them. And that could have been their last moments. That could have been something in their life that happened that was an accident or whatnot. And don't forget, you can ask questions while you're here. I am doing readings. So little Lisa was seeing these things in 3D and seeing these things, like, just for example, and trigger warning, this is going to talk about violence, gun violence. I saw someone unalive themselves in the aftermath of that. And I was very little, and I was in my grandparents' basement, and I freaked the heck out. Like, that was incredibly scary. So I talked to my grandma about it. My grandma was highly psychic. She was the one that taught me tarot cards. She's the one that taught me everything. My mom was very highly psychic too. She just was more afraid of it. for good reason, But I talked to my grandma, and my grandma told me to pray and to ask to see things that are appropriate to my age. So I did that. We sat there and we prayed, and I prayed for seeing something that was appropriate to my age. And the scary stuff stopped. So I was no longer seeing blood and guts and gore. I was no longer seeing people in the worst moments of their life. I was seeing people as people. So I don't have the problem of being as scared since. And I'm very, very lucky. But if I get scared of something, I sage my house. I sage my cards. I sage my animals, who I might need to do that tonight after Sunny's been kind of cray-cray. I get really freaked out about religious stuff, actually, because like I said before, I grew up in a situation where it was fanatical, and it was very scary for me. So I try to talk about it to people and stuff. So that was a good question. So keep asking questions if you feel like it. Otherwise, I can go here in a little bit. You can say hi to Rose. See if she feels up to it. Nope, she doesn't. She does not feel up to it. Maybe. Hold on. There's Rose. Hi, everybody. I'm Rose. I am Lisa's niece. She's my niece dog. She's evil. She's a Chihuahua. She is a 7-pound Chihuahua deer head, and that's Sunny, who was making all those noises earlier. Oh. Yes, that was. He was kissing me. She's actually a very good dog. She's actually a very, very good dog. So I don't know what got into her crawl earlier, but she got a little crazy. But they're both sweet, except Rose is the devil dog. If you follow her on Instagram, she's Rose the devil dog. Literally Rose the devil dog. She has her own adventures and stuff. So if anybody has any questions they want to reading, let me know. I'm here. I say a lot. I should be more confident. Yeah, I need to be more confident. I think part of it is I'm congested and the dogs went crazy, and it's driving me nuts. But we're just hanging out. We're chilling. It's Friday night. I'm going to call my bestie here a little bit because she's in a different time zone than me. So it's about, it's a different time. So I'm going to call her in a little bit. So it's late for me, but it won't be as late for her. I miss my bestie. I'm lucky to have very wonderful besties around me, but my bestie doesn't live near me. My other bestie doesn't live near me either. I have two besties, like bestie, who they live opposite sides of the world of each other. So I miss them both very much. And I'm lucky to have besties here, but like my besties are on different sides of the world. So yeah, that sucks. But we get to talk to each other. That's why we wait for weird times to talk to each other. As you can tell, Rose is being very good right now. Should we do a reading on Rosie? Let's see. Let's see what Rose is thinking. She wants to escape. Rosie wants to escape. She wants to go somewhere. Where do you want to go? She wants something to change. She's ready for her world to change. I think that means she wants a new toy. Yes, we want to see what Rosie thinks. Rosie, if you don't know this, is a cancer dog. Not like cancer the sign, and she does not have cancer herself, but she is a cancer dog. She can detect cancer in people. And she is actually my cousin's, who's my roommate. She's actually my cousin's dog, and I'm dog sitting tonight. So I have Rosie, but she is a busy lady. She really fills up her cup and she drains her cup quite a bit. So she might be a little burnt out. She might be a little tired because she not only detects cancer, but she can like put pressure on spots that are in pain, and that can help my cousin along. So it's just, for example, not getting too personal, but say she has a stomach ache and it's cancer related. Rosie will indicate that there